address is how do I create curved walls and a curved ceiling, some irregularly curved things? It's going to vary depending on what your design is. Revit works really well for things that go straight up and down, like pancake buildings is what I kind of call them. They just like have level on top of level. It's a lot harder to make forms that are in any way curved or have multiple profiles to them. But there are ways to do it. So I'm going to go into my level 1 view, and I need to figure out where my drawing went. What happened here? Okay, so you can always do a zoom, like a geometry enter to kind of find where you are. All right, so I'm going to create an irregularly shaped wall in 2 directions so that we can kind of see what we're doing. It's hard when you only have like one little screen, but I'm going to try to have both level 1 and my 3D open. So I'm going to close these, and then I'm going to type in WT to bring up both of those things. I can drag over the middle like this to make it not quite so big. Okay, and I'm going to drag this box over past these so we're not looking at those. Okay, so I'm going to go to Architecture, Component, Model in Place. Here, I need you to select Walls. And hit OK. So the first kind we're going to do is a sweep. So select Sweep. You're going to sketch a path. This is the path that your wall is being swept along. So you can think of it as kind of as if it were like the path of a bubble wand, right? Like it's this path that you're then going to create a second shape on that'll follow it. So I'm going to use my spline tool. The spline tool is going to allow me to kind of make an irregular shape here. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to hit enter. So I have my irregular shape, and I can hit my check mark. Then I need to edit the profile. So that's what the shape of the wall will actually be going up and down. So I'm going to go to edit profile. It's going to tell me I need to open another view because I can't really see the profile straight on in any of these views. So it looks like my profile is mostly facing left, right. So I'm going to open up my east elevation. Okay, so now that I'm here, I can kind of see it. So if I just wanted like a straight wall that followed this curve, I could certainly build that, but that's also something I could just build with a regular wall tool, right? So instead, I'm going to make something that has a little bit of curvature to it. So I'm going to use my start end radius arc, and maybe I'll have some kind of a wall that has this kind of double radius, this scalloping. I'm going to offset it. I don't remember what your exterior wall is. I'm going to say mine's 6 inches. I'm offsetting it, and that's a little bit thin for exterior, but we're going with it. Okay, I need to close off my line at the top and bottom. And since it's not reaching, I'm going to use my trim tool here. Click on the parts you want to keep in order to complete your profile. Then hit the check mark. So now I have the sweep, the profile, and as well as the sketched path. I'm going to hit check mark when it cannot create sweep. So that means I made some geometries that were too difficult for it to figure out. So I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to simplify my form a little bit. So here I'm going to go to edit profile. It might not have liked like the abrupt shifting there. So maybe I'll just try a simple curve instead. So I'm going to take this from here to here, and offset it, and then I'm going to close off my lines again. Hit my check mark, Hit my check mark again. Still can't create sweep. Okay, so it might be that my actual path is too complicated. So I'm going to hit cancel. And then I'm going to go to my swept path and go to sketch path. Go to my level 1 and let's see what's going on. It might be this area right here. Do you see how I'm making a really tight turn? So let's see if I can kind of smooth that out a little bit and if that'll make it happier. So here I'm trying to avoid some of the really tight turns I had before. Okay, now I'm going to hit my check mark again. Okay, so now it's willing to make that line. So you can see that I have this irregular wall I've created. So similar idea for ceilings. Actually, let's do one more different type of wall. So if I go to architecture, wall, sorry, not wall, component, model in place, now wall, hit OK. I could also do a swept blend. So that means that it's like one shape in the beginning and another shape at the end. So similar idea, I'm going to sketch my path. And for this one, I'm just going to keep it kind of simple. I'm going to do maybe a simple curve here. Okay. Then I'm going to select profile 1 and I'm going to work on that first. So I'm going to hit edit profile. And again, I think I'm going to always look at my east for these. So let's say I want to start out with something that's really tall, so like 25 feet high with a slight curve, offset it, close it up. Hit my check mark. And then I want to end with something that's much smaller, so I'm going to select profile 2. And this time I'm going to draw, I'm going to go to edit profile. And this time I'm only going to come up like 5 feet. And I'm going to come out 5 feet. Actually, too thick. So let me bring this out a little. Let's try it one more time. I think that's a little too round and I'm worried it's going to break it. So I'm going to do something a little bit less round. Okay, and same deal. I'm going to offset this, chop off the top and bottom. And hit my check mark. Okay, so let's see if this will work. Moment of truth. Check, and it does. So here I have something that changes in curvature. And actually, as it kind of flips, right? Like it goes from the curve being on this side to the other curve being on this side over the course of that. So it is possible to make more regularly shaped things in Revit. It just takes a little bit of planning to see if you can figure out what your reference planes are, and there's limited amounts of commands. So like sweep's a good one, blend's a good one. You kind of need to think about how to use those to make it. So I guess the last question is for an irregularly shaped ceiling now. So that again, I think we're going to end up using the same tools for that. So if I were to go to my level 3 plan over here, architecture, component, model in place, ceilings. You'll see I have the same kind of options here for how I can make that ceiling, whether it's a sweep, whether it's a swept blend, whether it's a regular blend. So maybe what I would choose to do is to do a blend. And one thing that might help is I might be able to set the plane in a different view. So let's say I was trying to make this might be tricky to do. I think I can can't draw because the work plane's at a very sharp angle, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to think like how I would make a roof for this. So I think I can actually select some lines in 3D. So let's say okay, let's work with the wall we have. So let me cancel this a second. Let's work with the wall we have. We have this wall here. I think it is living over here right now. It's out of my section box. And I need to create some kind of roof that is going to meet that. So I would like a section so I can look at this a little bit more carefully. So I'm going to go to View, Section, and I'm going to kind of draw it as perpendicular as I can. I need to flip this section. It's looking the wrong way, so I'm going to hit those things. And I'm going to right click on it and hit Go to View. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is just make like a regular kind of ceiling that'll slope down this way but won't be doubly curved. So I can go to Architecture, Roof. I want to move it to level 3. Yes. Okay. And here I can make something that is pretty simple. And it's just sloped in one direction. So I'm going to rotate on the whole thing. And rather than have those define the slope, I'm going to make my own slope arrow. So I'm going to select my slope arrow. I'm going to draw my slope arrow from here down to this corner. So height, offset, tail. I'm drawing on level 3. It looks like I want it to be about a foot, not even, maybe 2 inches above the level 3. So height, offset, tail, I'm going to make 3 inches. And then height, offset at head, it's asking me, okay, at the other end, how far down do you want it to go? And it looks like I want it to go down, this is 12 feet, even more than that. Let's say I want it to go down 15 feet, and I can always adjust it. So at head is going to be negative 15 feet. So I'm just going to hit the green mark and kind of see what that produces. I'm getting pretty close. It looks like that's about right. It looks like that needs to get even lower here. So let's see how much lower. I'm going to go to Annotate, Detail Line. It looks like I'm still another 3 feet off. So I'm going to select it. Go to Edit Footprint. And then over here, when I select this line, I'm going to change this to negative 18 feet and hit my check mark. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. If I look in 3D, that's pretty much following it. But you'll notice that like this and this still, this is only curved in one direction. This is curved in 2 directions. So you'll never be able to really like keep water from getting in here. This isn't a real roof yet. So I need to create a roof that has more of an irregular shape to deal with that. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to Architecture, Component, Model in Place. And here I'm going to go to Ceilings and hit OK. And I'm going to try making it a blend, I think. Is that going to be really annoying? I think I'm going to actually do a swept blend similar to what we did before. I'm wondering if I'm going to regret that though. What are my options? So my options are extrusion blends. Let's try a regular blend and see if I can make it work. It might be a little bit not happy with that, but it's worth a shot. Oh, I have a better idea. Okay, we're gonna do this a different way. Sorry for the changing in thoughts. Again, complicated forms need complicated methods sometimes. So I'm going to create what's called a mass and then create a ceiling on top of that mass. So if I go to Massing and Site, In Place Mass, for a mass I need to create the lines first. So I'm going to use this Pick Line tool. And then I'm going to use that to pick lines I already have in my model. So I have that line. I have that line. Did it get this whole line? And then I want to kind of connect those lines. And I'm not really seeing them, which makes me nervous. So let's see if I put this in wireframe, if I can see my picked lines. Let me try starting over with them. It looks like I picked the top instead of the bottom. So let me go back to pick lines. I'm going to pick that line. It's still picking the top instead of the bottom. So I think I need to pick like 3D lines. Is that not an option on here? Draw a face, drawing work plane. Okay, I don't think this is gonna work after all. We're trying something else. Sorry for the going back and forth on this. Okay, so if I go to architecture component, model in place, ceilings, I'm going to create a sweep and keep it super simple for now, and hope for the best. So I'll do a swept blend. I think this is the right thing to do. Maybe just a regular blend. We'll do a swept blend, see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to pick my path, and I'm going to pick 3D edges. I'm going to pick this edge. Okay, so now it's going to sweep along this edge. So I'm going to hit check mark. So the first thing I'm going to do is select profile 1. And when I have profile 1, I'm going to go ahead and hit edit profile. And profile 1 looks like it is this one. So I'm going to make a line that goes from here over to this other roof I have. And once I have that, I'm going to offset it down my 6 inches. And then I'm going to use my trim tool and click on the pieces I want to keep. Okay, if I'm happy with that, I hit my check mark. And then I'm going to select profile 2, and same deal. I'm going to create a line, so edit profile, using my line tool from here over to this point. And I can select here so that'll kind of, I really like that as like an end point. And I didn't have that right before, so I'm going to try that again. So I'm going to use this to go from here to this point. Okay. And now I'm going to offset it. Click from here to here. And from here down to here. Okay, and then I'm going to trim, keeping just the pieces I want to keep that I click on. And I'm going to hit my green check mark, and then cross your fingers for this part. I'm going to hit the check mark. Okay, so not perfect, but not terrible, right? So ideally this will need to move in a little bit, and I think there might be ways to fuss with it. I might be able to just create part of this line at a time. I could also edit my flat roof now to meet it, and I think that's what I'm going to choose to do. So I select my flat roof, go to edit footprint, and here I can select the edge of that, click here, and here I'm just modifying that footprint so that it meets oops, I needed my other tool. So that meets the line of the roof, the other roof I just created, which would be a little bit harder to modify. Make sure anytime you make a new line of roof that it does not define the slope. And then green check mark. And there we go. So again, not perfect, still some gappage there, but it's starting to look like a reasonably decently modeled roof.